They call themselves the rebels with a cause, and that cause is the recognition of the culture, language and identity of the more than 40 million ethnic Oromos in Ethiopia. And for that, they say they're ready to pay the ultimate price. Most of the OLF fighters claim they were university or high school students before moving into the bush.
I was studying at high school in Addis Ababa. Then one day we were chased out of school by the government and imprisoned for 3 years.
20-year-old Falimatu is the only woman in this unit. Falimatu has called the bush home for 3 years now. She has not seen members of her family, and she claims 13 of her former schoolmates are languishing in jail in Addis Ababa.
When I decided to leave my family, it was a final decision. What I miss most are my fellow students serving in prison. That's why I'm here in the bush to fight for them to be free one day. I miss them.
OLF rebels claim 10% of their ranks are female fighters, but in this unit we only saw one woman, Falimatu, who has chosen the armed rebellion over normal family life.
Nobody doesn't wish to have a good family, a husband and children. But the situation in Ethiopia does not allow much to enjoy. You're talking about family. I don't even have the right to education, let alone love and making a family.
In this interview, and as a sign of defiance, she declined to speak to me in Amharic, Ethiopia's national language. She instead, through a translator, spoke in her native Aforomo. We leave the lady rebel preparing herself to take vigil around the camp. She is on duty this particular night. A day in the camp would normally begin at 5 a.m. This trainer goes around the camp to ensure that all the rebels are up and ready for the day. Each of the rebels is assigned duties for the day, and time management is strictly observed. For hours on, the rebels will be grilled by the trainer on these grounds, marching to perfection. Any form of misconduct would lead to severe punishment. But it is not always training or fighting in the rebel camp. Kajela is a rebel clown whose duty is to ensure the spirits of the fighters far away from home are high at all time. Dancing around a bonfire and singing war songs would normally end the day for these rebels. According to these rebels, 10 to 20 of their fighters are killed every month. The ragtag fighters are up against an Ethiopian army that is considered one of Africa's largest and most efficient fighting units. The government of Ethiopia describes the OLF as a defeated entity and a minority group whose interests run parallel to the aspirations of the Oromo people. The Ethiopian government says the OLF is a terrorist group whose activities are undemocratic and anti-peace. In northern Kenya, the OLF fighters have been accused of raiding local villages. I asked the commander if the OLF was behind the 2005 Turbi massacre in Marsabit.
We've got nothing against Kenya or Kenyans. They're our neighbors. We are aimed only at liberating our homeland, nothing to do with Kenya. We are in Ethiopia, Oromia, never Kenya.
Most of the OLF organization is, however, said to operate from the Eritrean capital, Asmara. The Eritrean regime of Isaias Afewerki already stands accused of backing the Al-Shabaab extremist elements in the war-torn nation of Somalia.
I know there is an Oromo Liberation Front which is struggling for self-determination. Other than that, you might know better than I do, because I have seen, what you are doing with the Oromo Liberation Front.
This was our last day in the OLF camp. Our stay inside the rebel territory had come to an end. Time had finally come for us to go back to Kenya. It was a journey that finally yielded phases of one of Africa's longest running, albeit low-key rebellions. The OLF was for decades a mystery, but unmasked at last. There was Liban, the commander, Gurache, who was introduced to us as brave, and then Falimatu, the conspicuous female fighter, among others who answer to the cause of the OLF rebellion. Yasin Juma, NTV, Southern Ethiopia.